Welcome to Transmission Mist3rDouglas, where we're going through the series of Mr. Michael Topper's prolific body of work. This episode, we take a look at Michael Topper's work, How to Stuff a Wild Blue Meanie. For a brief overview, this document explores metaphysical and esoteric themes, particularly focusing on negative entities, channeling, spiritual self-defense, and mind-body alignment as protection against external manipulation. The title, How to Stuff a Wild Blue Meanie, suggests a metaphor for understanding and neutralizing intrusive forces in spiritual and psychic domains. The key themes and concepts. 1. The dangers of channeling and entity possession. Negative entities can deceive by posing as positive guides, among other ways. Channeling is inherently risky, even when performed correctly. Long-term channeling weakens the mental and physical health of the channeler. The planetary environment has weakened due to dimensional breaches, allowing more negative entities to infiltrate. This vulnerability is not exclusive to channeling, but extends to drug abuse, psychological distress, and weakened energetic defenses, whether by environmental exposure or purposeful, malicious directed intent. 2. Mind-body alignment and psychic protection. The key to resisting negative entities, according to Michael Topper, is strong mind-body alignment. True protection isn't just calling on spiritual forces. It requires an internalized reserve of light and spiritual discipline. Those with prior spiritual work in past lifetimes may have an innate resilience, whereas others lack the spiritual capital to resist intrusions as readily. Electrification of the spine, activation of Kundalini energy, acts as a safeguard against psychic invasion. 3. The role of the cerebrospinal system. The spinal column is the axis of consciousness and will. If the cerebrospinal channel is empty, an entity can fill it with its own influence. Meditation should energize the system rather than pacify it. Many mainstream meditation practices leave the cerebrospinal system vulnerable. Popular pacifying techniques serve the negative agenda, keeping individuals passive and easier to manipulate. 4. Psychic self-defense and spiritual sovereignty. Negative entities thrive on fear and psychic energy manipulation. Traditional methods like calling on Christ, invoking light, and protection rituals only work if backed by prior spiritual effort. Properly aligned consciousness repels intrusions naturally. It's not about fighting evil, but about strengthening inner sovereignty. The best protection isn't battle, but energetic progress in the good, aligned with the teachings from the I Ching and the raw material, according to Michael Topper. 5. How negative beings manipulate perception. Negative entities will broadcast disinformation, often embedding half-truths to make their manipulations more believable. They encourage false good versus evil narratives, creating fear-based engagement. Even first-hand experiences such as abductions can be misleading due to mind-wiping, post-hypnotic suggestions, and memory distortion. 6. The only 3 ways to learn about negative entities. The document outlines 3 ways that you can gain true knowledge of negative entities. 1 is channeling, risky, and requires constant discernment. 2 is personal abduction, which comes at the cost of being abducted and some victimization going on there. 3. Initiated empowerment, the safest and most direct method, allowing individuals to see beyond deception. Some key takeaways and practical insights from this work. Mind-body alignment and spinal electrification are key to spiritual protection. Most mainstream meditative practices encourage passivity and leave people vulnerable. Calling upon external forces for protection is only effective if the person has already done significant spiritual work. Negative forces use deception, including half-truths, to mislead and control. The best way to counteract negative entities is not to fight them, but to focus on positive development. There is no need to focus on any glamorous spiritual battle, only the cultivations of one's own energetic integrity. Conclusion: How to Stuff a Wild Blue Meanie serves as a manual for advanced esoteric practitioners, outlining psychic protection strategies against negative spiritual forces and mind control tactics. And it offers a different take on meditation and spiritual defense, and makes the argument that true protection comes from self-generated energy and consciousness sovereignty, not reliance on external saviors. Fascinating stuff. We'll keep tumbling down deeper into the rabbit hole with Michael Topper. If you enjoyed this, if you have any responses to this material, drop them in the comments. I'll read them. I'll do my best to respond. If you liked it, like it. If you want to subscribe, do that too. It's great to have you here. Knowledge protects, ignorance endangers. I'll catch you on the next one. Okay, bye.